Hey, welcome back to the channel. So, in this video, we gonna check the not spoiler. It's more like a sneak peek. Yeah, a sneak peek of the Blue Destiny and also Sinanju's skill. Hey, and also the pilot. So, let's take a look at them one by one. We're gonna take a look at the Blue Destiny first. Look at this. It's so cool. Look at him, like walking slowly with badass face and posture. Oh my god, his aura farming. And it's true. Look at this. Blue Reaper EX comes equipped with an EX weapon that has a greater weapon power increases the closer the enemy is, up to 12% increase. So this is, because this is an unlimited unit, I think it's gonna go up to 17%, because the limited units usually be the one that goes up to 20%. Yes. And also has an ability that increases on attack by 4%. Its type damage is dealt in battle up to 20%. This is great. That means that the longer the battle goes on, the stronger he is gonna be. That is great. Depending on his other skills and abilities, and also his attack stats, and also his weapon power, and also the range and everything, we will see later when he gets released, like whether in his maximum power, like after killing, that means that 5 enemies, after killing 5 enemies, will he deal higher damage than Barbatus or not? Because we know for now that Barbatus is the best PvE unit that you can get, like the strongest one right now. And while the God Gundam is insanely strong in PvP. So those two are really, really great. So we're gonna see where Blue Destiny gonna sit, But still, like I've heard concerns that a lot of players thinking that because the SSR and also in the story of the Blue Destiny, that the Blue Destiny can only be used on ground. So it is very, very limiting. And I'm not gonna be surprised, because we already see in GP03 and also Neoziel to only can be used in space, just like the narrative Gundam. So it wouldn't be surprising if the Blue Destiny can only be used on ground. But usually, um, uh, with power comes more responsibility, something like that. No. Like with more limitation comes greater compensation. Yeah, it's Vivi said that. Okay. So yeah, the more limiting someone is, or something is, or ability is, or weapon, or unit, or anything, in every single RPG games, the more limiting it is, the better the reward or compensation or the returns gonna be. So maybe if he can only be used on ground, maybe he's gonna be the best ever in that ground battle. We will see. Yeah, I'm just hoping that maybe he will be insanely strong, just like the Liu Bei unicorn. Like the Liu Bei unicorn requires very specific weapon effect requirement. Like it requires him to be sitting at 1 HP while fighting a rival enemies. But when he fulfilled all of those requirements, he theoretically deal the highest damage in this game. I don't know, like I'm gonna probably need to compare them by now, like who actually deals higher damage. We already have a lot of great units so far, so now it's more of a question like which supporters you have. Like if you only have an ace unit supporter, then there is no point of you getting Barbatus instead of God Gundam. You know what I mean? So if you do have the supporters, just put the units that is the best with that supporters. That's gonna make your unit be stronger than what theoretically can be stronger than your unit, because of the help of the supporter. You get what I mean? So that is the Blue Destiny. Hopefully, like he is not that limiting. Maybe like this UR version can be used on space. It's low chance, but I'm just hoping that, because we have most of our fights be either on space or on ground. So units that can be on both should be versatile enough. Like you can use them in almost like 99% of the battle. But just like the Neoziel and GP03, they can only be used on space. And when Neoziel first came out, I told you guys that Neoziel should be really great. I mean, like it deals quite high damage. Like all the requirements are also great. The only downside of New Ezreal is that it can only be used on space. So for a pay-to-win players, like they can have the luxury of having a lot of units, like making a team for every single different terrain. Like they have a space team, a ground team, an atmospheric team, etc., etc. But as a very free-to-play players, we don't have that leisure. Like we want to maximize our return from the unit that we pulled from gacha. Like if the unit is versatile enough, then I can use him or MLB him and use that unit in almost every single content in the game. And that means that with the least amount of investment, I can, clear almost every single content with the same unit. Okay, so yeah, different purpose, different aim for the pay-to-win and free-to-play players. So hopefully this one, I don't know, like even if it is not that versatile, like if it can only be on the ground, then it is still a very good unit supposedly for a pay-to-win players, okay, because of this. Like the longer the battle is, the stronger he's gonna be. So in a long battle of PvE stages, like the Generation Tower is, then he's gonna be really great. But it depends, okay? So as usual, the best thing that we can get from a unit is the pilot. So the pilot is what we should aim for. Like the pilot can be used to ride other units, hopefully. So let's take a look at Yuu Kajima. It's an attacker pilot. Hopefully it's a melee. I don't know. Like if it is a range, we already have a lot of EFSF range pilot, but it wouldn't hurt, like. Because if the Blue Destiny is a melee, that means that he is very limited in his range of attack. So if he can like attack from 5 range away, then it's the best. Like he can be used in PvP. But if he doesn't have 5 range attack, then it is very, very limiting. Because in PvP right now, we have already too many units and most of them can attack from 5 range away. Like if they cannot attack from 5 range away, then they're gonna be at severe disadvantage. Now, for Yuu Kajima has an ability that is enabled when piloting Blue Destiny Unit 1 EX that allows Chance Step to trigger at the end of combat even when an enemy has not been destroyed. Oh my god, this is the 4th Chance Step. Like previously when Argi Mirage first came out, the SSR version, if you watch that video analysis with me, then I mentioned that this skill changes everything, Because so far, before Argi came out, we only knew that only enemies can have a 4th Chance Step because it makes the stage much, much more difficult for us to clear. But when Argi came with that skill, then there is hope. I mentioned in that analysis video that, if Argi can have that means that in the future, there's gonna be another pilot who will have that ability, So if that time comes, like I hope that it's gonna be better than SSR Argi, because SSR Argi as an SSR pilot is not as strong as a UR pilot. Even if we SP convert them, we know for sure that it's just getting close to a UR pilot. It will never be stronger than a UR pilot, okay? UR pilot will always have higher stats and also, better skills and abilities. So now we have the UR version of that Argi Mirage, although it is even more limiting than the Argi Mirage. Like it can only be used when riding Destiny Unit 1 EX, but this unit is a UR unit, okay? So at the very least, like you don't need to SP convert any of them. You can just use them as is. And also if you happen to get a copy of Blue Destiny, like you manage to limit break the Blue Destiny, then you can just use the Blue Destiny without needing to use the F2P strategy of using UR pilot on SSR SP converted unit. But still, like this is really great, although it is very limiting. But this means that if somebody, maybe a whale, managed to use the Blue Destiny in PvP, is going to be insanely strong. Like, you know, with this kind of requirement, I expect Blue Destiny to hit really, really hard, like the Striker Custom. And with a Force Chance tab, if you don't die from the first hit, he will guarantee that you will die on the next. So, also has a character skill that increases damage dealt to the enemy by 20%. This is the attack boost, okay? So, this is great. But still, like, it is very limiting. I was hoping that he is an EFSF pilot that can be used to ride any other EFSF unit. But looking at this skill, like, that means that he is gonna be having one ability specifically for the Blue Destiny unit only, like this one. So we're just gonna hope that his other abilities can compensate on the lack of this one ability that he cannot have when riding other units. If it can happen, like, or maybe he get like very high stats, maybe the range or with the melee, probably not an awakened stats, right? Like, because he is not a neo type. I don't know. Like, I cannot guess. I totally have no idea about the Blue Destiny story. So, yeah, hopefully he is, like, you know, has a good reason to be used in other units. Otherwise, he is not F2 pip friendly. Like, this is definitely a whale unit, okay? Because it is very, very specific. This also, if it really can only be used on ground, only the whale can benefit from this one, because they don't have any, you know, downside from doing gacha on every single unit. For us, if we gacha this, we can only use this unit on the ground, while probably Wing Gundam's gonna be next. Like, I don't know. Like, we all are hoping for the Wing Gundam to come on December. So yeah, I'm thinking like this should be an optional banner. So next we gonna get the Sinanju. Yeah. So this is great, like another Psychomu from for my lineup, and it is also definitely a Neozeon, right? So it's gonna be a very good addition to my Qbili team. So for those of you who also build the similar team like mine, like a Psychomu team or a Qbili team, etc., or a Neozeon team, like, this is gonna be really great, because look at this, comes equipped with an EX weapon that inflicts increased damage taken from beam weapons on enemies. A beam weapon's damage taken up, debuff is one of the best. I mean, like, not one of the best. That is the best, the kind of debuff that you can have. Because more than 80% of the units in this game deal beam weapons damage. So almost every single units will benefit from this. Only the newer units will not benefit from this, because lately we got all the fighter melee units coming out from the banner. Like, we recently got the God Gundam, then the Barbatus, then who else? Like the Astaroth. Most of them are physical damage dealer. So we haven't seen any other beam weapons dealer. Like, probably the Navy Seal is beam, then the GP03 is also beam. Yeah. But we've been having a lot of physical damage dealer and also a physical damage taken up debuffer. So now we're going back to the beam weapons damage taken up debuffer. And this is great, because for a Psychomu team like the one that I built, I've been, relying a lot on DO for debuffing a beam damage taken up to my enemy. But DO has a very severe limitation. Like, he moves slow, like only 4 movement, I think. And also, his range is also only 4. So he cannot hit from far away, but he is insanely strong. That's the pros and cons. That's why when something is bad, that means that something else is gonna be very good. Okay, so this one is another beam weapons damage taken up debuffer. Okay, gonna be really great if he can has a 5 range weapon attack. So that means that I'm gonna replace my DO using Sinanju now, if I can get this guy. Okay, and also has an ability that increases the max range of beam weapons by 1 when vigor is supercharged or higher. Okay, not gonna get happy yet, because it can mean that maybe we have a 6 range weapon, or maybe that he only has 4 range weapon, and when he is supercharged, then it can go up to 5. So whether it's gonna compensate for the lack of range that Sinanju has, or it's gonna make him the best ever debuffer in this game, because a 6 range beam weapons damage taken up debuffer is insane. Okay. So yeah, that is Sinanju. And as usual, like we already knew, for a pilot, a support pilot is so much better than attacker and durability pilot, because a support pilot, especially the UR ones, they can attack 3 times in a single turn. So they are much more important than attacker pilot, because if you are making a team, obviously you, unless you are a whale, of course, yeah, you gonna have more supporter than a support unit rather than attacker unit. Like you will usually have 1 or 2 attacker unit for your main damage dealer, while being supported by other support unit, because it is much better to increase your already strong attacker unit by using debuff, compared to just deal another damage to your enemy using another attacker. Because if you support that attacker using your support unit, other than you can attack 3 times using that supporter, but your supporter also debuffing your enemies to receive more damage from all of your units' damage that is dealt to them. So yeah, here comes the pilot now, full frontal, look at him, a support pilot, and has an ability that increases movement by 1 when pilot is Sinanju EX, and vigor is supercharged or higher. So this is just like Daryl when riding the Psycho Zaku. I don't know, like I'm thinking that maybe Sinanju can either be just like Master Gundam or can be like Psycho Zaku. That's why it's still a question, you know, like we cannot really assume, but there is a 50-50 chance that maybe Sinanju will have only 4 movement when piloted by other pilot, and only when piloted by full frontal, then Sinanju will have 5 movement because of this, but only when supercharged or higher. But I think usually when this happens, like the Daryl, it will happen straight away. Like it doesn't have any other requirements. Like only it says like when piloting Sinanju EX, then increase movement by 1. So that means that it's just like the Psycho Zaku. Like when it is piloted by other pilot, it has 4 movement, very limited. But when piloted by Daryl, then it becomes normal. Okay. But for this case, because it requires you to be a supercharged or higher, it gonna be very you know, bad for Sinanju if he has only 4 movement, and even when piloted by full frontal, it can only get 5 movement when supercharged or higher. So definitely this should be the same case as the Master Gundam, you know, where if you are supercharged or higher, you will have 6 movement. Because it stays true with the Red Comet legacy, like he is the fastest best pilot when riding you know, his unit, whatever unit he is riding. Okay, he is the fastest and best pilot there is in the Neo Zeon's history. So I'm waiting for that to really happen. So we have probably a 6 range attack in here and a 6 movement from the pilot. So this is gonna be epic, okay? And also has a character skill that increases the max range of own weapons by 1. Now this one is just you know, a range increase just like any other pilot out there. So if this can go up to 6 range and piloted by these guys, will this be a 7 range? I don't know. But because of this thing, you know, if Bandai is not ready to give us a 7 range weapon attack unit, then definitely the Sinanju will only have a 4 range weapon. And when it is supercharged, then it increased by 1. That means it goes up to 5. And when piloted by full frontal, use the range increase, and it can go up to 6. Okay, I don't think we are ready for a 7 range attack weapon because if it can go up like that, then it is insane. You cannot imagine like how big is a 7 range weapon attack is. Okay, so why I kind of like a little bit sure about this, not sure, like pede, like what is pede? Yeah? I'm quite sure this can be epic because some of my viewers, like in my Discord channel, like mentioned to me that there is someone that analyze this guy and mentioned that any other support pilot will say that if they have a double support attack in their featured sneak peek in here, so only full frontal doesn't have the double support attack mentioned in here. Let me see if that is correct. Let's go to other support pilot. Let me see. Let me just zoom this too. Where is a support pilot? We need to go back down really far. Just to see a support pilot. Because the last one, that one, the GB03 doesn't have a support pilot. Like this one, increase support attack counter count by up to 2 times. Yeah, look at that. That is Gato. And then we have other support pilot from the previous banner. Let me see. We do have the banana. Gains an additional support attack counter support up to a maximum of 3. Yeah, it is still mentioned there, although it is a triple support attack. And then where it is? Where else? Master Lake Eternal Road. This one. Yeah, this is the Argy. Look at this. Grants an additional support attack counter support, raising the maximum to 2. Yeah, like all the other support pilot mentioned having a double support attack. So full frontal doesn't have that. So there is a chance that full frontal will be the only UR support pilot who only has a single support attack. But like I said just now, with great power comes great responsibility. Great limitation comes great compensation. So with that, I'm hoping that with that single support attack, he will deal very high damage. Like it will be very worth it to do that single support attack. Like I cannot imagine like every single other support pilot has double support attack. Why only full frontal has a single support attack? Like I cannot imagine that. Okay, like maybe they just didn't put didn't mention the double support attack on the feature, or maybe there is something else that is coming to us that worth nerfing full frontal from having double support attack into a single support attack, because he is gonna be too OP if he has a double support attack. Okay, I'm just hoping that, but maybe I am wrong. Like this is all just speculation. But from my experience from playing other RPG games, that is always the case. So yeah, we will see later. Okay, maybe he still comes with a double support attack. It's just not mentioned in here. Okay, but if it is a single support attack pilot, then we will check later. Okay, when the banner comes out, how good he is that makes him only get a single support attack among all the other UR pilots out there. Like it is still makes sense if an SSR support pilot has a single support attack, right? Like when you see a single support attacker from the SSR pilot, they have instead the affinity tag that increase their final damage dealt. So that is the give and take for the SSR pilot. But we don't have that in the UR pilot. Like because the UR pilots comes default with a double support attack. Almost every single one of them, not almost, I mean like every single one of them, if they don't have double support attack, they have triple support attack. Okay, so if this is the only one who has a single support attack, I'm hoping they compensate us really, really good for this. Okay, so that is full frontal. And next is Mineva. Yeah. I forgot her name. Like I went to the game and saw the Audrey, but I know that is a fake name. But I totally forgot her actual name. Yeah, Mineva is the real leader of the Neo Zeon. So we already can guess that she should come with a Neo Zeon tag. Okay, so there is that. But I didn't expect that she comes also with a Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn series. So this is also a really, really good supporter for me. Probably not for you guys, but for me this is insanely good because this gonna be the perfect supporter for Qbeli. It's a Neo Zeon tag. Like I can just bring all of the Neo Zeon units and together with the Awakened Unicorn, okay? Like the Unicorn tank, the SSR Unicorn tank, the Full Armor Unicorn and the Unicorn Destroy mode are currently the best SSR tank to be SP converted, and you can bring them in here and also together with all the other Neo Zeon. It's gonna be a great team, and also the green unicorn, also the awakened unicorn, the UR one, you can also bring in here for a level 7 defense down. Like I said, like you don't really need to force yourself to have all 5 Neo Zeon in your Qbeli lineup. Like just bring 2 or 3 of Neo Zeon, already increase your Qbeli damage by quite a lot, enough. So this is gonna be great. Although it restores the EN of allies within raids, like this is not a heal, but still, like nowadays I feel like I requires energy more than health, because nowadays we already have a lot of good durability units to be able to sustain damage and helping our attacker to survive. So we don't really need heal that much usually. So energy is much more important because we are facing more and more enemies in PvE stages. We only need more heal in PvP. So yeah, now it becomes true. Like the EN restoration supportership is for PvE battle, and the heal is for PvP battle. But still, it's not limited to just that, Like I can just use this ship for a PvP. It's up to me if I don't need heal. So yeah, that's the sneak peek of their skills and abilities. So hopefully when the next banner hits, like we will see their actual skills and abilities, and I'm just hoping it's gonna be a huge surprise, okay? Yeah, especially the Sinanju and the Full Frontal. I'm expecting a lot from them. So don't disappoint me, okay, Sinanju? Yeah, but that is very subjective. So for objective purposes, like this banner, because it is a non-limited banner, like if you don't require any of these units to build your team, like especially the Blue Destiny is a totally new unit, like it's only EFSF, but it's a totally new series. So you definitely requires to build a specific totally new team for him, especially if he also, just like the SSR, comes with a melee attack. That means that he requires a lot of supports from other units. And also because the SSR version is a test type, if he also is a test type and doesn't have any other tags, that means that you need to build a test type team, which is very limiting. Okay, so this is optional. And also the Sinanju, if you are not a Saikomu lover or building a Saikomu team, then this is also optional, okay? Like you can just get him any other day, okay? So it's better to just, skip this banner and wait for the Wing Gundam. That's probably gonna come in December, so we will see. Or maybe there's gonna be a surprise in between, yeah. So this banner is optional. Or in any case, if you are not sure, you still have half a month for this banner to be gone, so you have plenty of time to think. Let other players pull first, let other players see and review their units first, and then on the last day you can decide whether you want to pull them or not. Okay, that's the best strategy you can do as a free-to-play players. And for a pay-to-win players, I just recommend you to just pull straight away. I mean, like, if you pull straight away, we're gonna get 3,000 diamonds free again. Thank you for all of your support, okay? All the pay-to-win and the whale players, okay? You are the guys, the players who keep this game alive. So yeah, that's it for tonight's video, guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you when the banner hits. Bye-bye.